Are you the one? There are almost 8 billion people in the world, but are you the one that needs hope? In this very moment, there are 332 million people in the US, but are you the one that feels alone? Good news is, you're not alone. While 80,000 thoughts will bombard you today and can feel chaotic, just one thought can potentially bring you peace and free you. Join us today, together with our guests, as we sift through the challenges, pains, questions, and victories in life. In sharing our stories, are you the one that will be inspired to take the next step toward fully living the purposeful and abundant life God created for you? Welcome to Are You the One?
Good morning. We are so thankful that you're here on the journey with us on Are You the One? My name is Trish. And actually, as I was listening to our opening just then, the one phrase that really struck me, almost brought tears to my eyes, was feeling alone. And my guest today is going to talk to us about a lot of people who feel alone and how we can be part of the solution in this journey. My guest is Guille Sastre. Hello, Guille.
Hi, Trish.
And you want to tell them about the Creciendo Unidos. Those of you that don't know, I'm sure you're absolutely wowed about my Spanish accent.
It's good, very good.
So you want to tell them about Creciendo Unidos?
Yes, I represent, I'm the executive director and founder of Creciendo Unidos. Growing Together is an organization that has been working for many years in the Valley. And it's an organization that has been brought up really very organic. It was looking at the need in our community of families that they were really disintegrating in terms of, divorces, violence, different aspects, problems that they had. And, it was just not way to see families going that route. And I'm originally from Mexico. It was very interesting how I ended up here. And
Would you share that? I've never heard the story.
Yes, I just came to study English to continue with my studies in university back in Mexico. And all of a sudden, I ended up staying here. And I lived the life of an immigrant and so many things. Very, very hard. Families that they came not as a choice, that they came because they were really trying to have a better life for their kids, that they were life and death, that in their homes and back in their countries, especially in Mexico, they were really in a really bad situation. So they didn't care to take this road of probably even dying in the way and arriving and trying to get their families a different life. So I saw really hard stories in how they got here and how they were trying for their families, but yet in the journey of trying to get better, somehow I saw that disintegration, working a lot and not being able to perform or just to blend in a country that they have different, system, and they didn't know how to work, in this system, and they didn't know much and no English, no support. So I saw a lot of things. So that's when I got, just said, you'll stay, and I remember back in Mexico, my family, come home. And, I just started feeling, I didn't know how. I started feeling that was my purpose of life. God wanted me to be part of this, just to walk with him. I mean, I was a very feisty, strong woman, thank God, because I was brought up in a very united, strong value system, home. So that gave me the strength to stand up and advocate for families wherever they're at. And that's how everything has started. So I work in many organizations. I continue my studies. And I always work with families, with parents. And then I work in other organization with youth groups. And I was like, always like, no, we have to work with the whole family. And that's when I started, God put in my head, it's like the whole family. So I quit my job and I decided to start working with the family. So I had another families that they were following me because I somehow, through my jobs, I was part of their lives and assisting them. So they said yes. And I started talking about a dream and a vision. And they were like, we want that as well. So we got together 8 families, and that's how Creciendo Unidos started. These families working with me to get a little bit of resources to get the first family program. It was going to be for families. It was going to be a program to bring hope, to be a support system for families that they were completely alone, families that they were struggling, families that they were really broken. And that was our journey in 1996.
Whoa,
Yeah.
1996.
And we ended up being a 501c3, nonprofit organization. I didn't know much about it. I learned a lot of work. And we're here 27 years, serving the community. Thousands of families have gone through our programs and a lot of work. And it was about probably 8 years that I really was overwhelmed of so much work. And every time that I wanted to step out, it was God saying, it's not, I don't want that. I want you to continue. So we continue, and we met Christ that helped us because we were really struggling financially in the organization. And they gave us pretty much a home. They said, come here, do whatever you're doing. And that really helped us because we were struggling. And then the pandemic came. It was even harder as a nonprofit, as an organization to maintain, the organization. But I'm telling you, when we didn't have nothing, God was there because He provided. And we're strong. We have right now in this organization, like I said, our mission is to unify and strengthen families. We have right now 48 families, complete families, as a volunteer leaders.
Wow, so 48 families who are part of the leadership, volunteer leadership. So that means both the parents and the kids serve at Creciendo Unidos, helping these new families that want to come and go through the program.
That's correct.
So good.
These 46 families, some of them, they've been with us the 27 years.
Wow.
Some of them that they've been 10, 15 years. I have coordinators in the program. I have families that they're the third generation because their kids, they came when they were 4. Now they're adults with children. Now they come with their family and they're serving in the organization. And this cause that really gives us, for us, a meaning, a purpose, and really, like you said, being part of a solution.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. And our lives intersected when you came to Christ Cares Ministries, which is where I serve. And you came to Christ Cares Ministries, and now we've been beside each other. We're in 2 separate buildings right next to each other, and we're in and out of each other's buildings and helping each other in all different kinds of ways. Yes. But getting a firsthand view of the need that seems to have exploded in these past couple of years. For me, so doing Christ Cares for Kids, we serve families who need resources families that have young children, and they need resources like diapers, wipes, and formula, etc. And they can come to Christ Cares for Kids and get these items. But our goal is to be Christ for them, and then also connecting them with other resources. So it became this God appointment when you came to Christ Cares Ministries and to connect them to you, because almost 80% of our families that come are Hispanic. And so, as you heard in the beginning of this show, yo hablo poquito español. I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I wasn't the one that could ever really and truly help them other than pray with them, for them, and to give them some physical resources. But having Creciendo Unidos, to be able to say to families, oh, go over there and they can help you. And so I love how God is so intentional, right?
Yes.
It wasn't by just something that you're next to us and literally in the next building, but we share the same heart, right? First of all, it's the heart of God for people. God loves people, and our valley now is to the point where there are so many families. We see them at Christ Cares for Kids, and then families who are coming over for them have nothing.
Yes.
And one of my families that we just had, she was living in a car with her 2 kids. And, it breaks our hearts. What do you do? And how can we help them? Well, this isn't just going to be about telling heartbreaking stories. This is really going to be about you can be part of this solution here in the Valley. Because if you can come and pick up one starfish and help or connect to places like Creciendo Unidos, you can be part of the solution. So, but would you share 1 or 2 stories for us? Because I know for me, when I hear a story, it often will ignite something inside of me. And that's, for me, that's what God uses to connect me to the next mission.
Yes. Well, I can go with thousands of stories, but one in particular was a family who, her husband, it was the couple, and there were 4 children, and she was always a home housewife, and he was a great provider, and the kids going to school and everything. All of a sudden, he started developing a mental problems, and completely got him out of work. And from one day to another, she didn't speak English, and she was trying to provide now for her family and also to be a supportive person for her husband. Of course, the kids in age of teenager, not knowing how to respond to this need, it became from one day to another a chaos.
Right.
She was feeling really alone. She didn't know how to, she didn't know not even how, she goes, where I'm going to look for a job? Who's going to hire me? Now, all of a sudden, the kids, they lost dad and they lost mom because she had to be a provider.
Right.
So it was really hard situation. And so she entered the program, and then we were able to support her, to give her a support system, and to help the kids to process all these situations. So that's one of them.
That is so important. Boy, when you say that, Guille, the idea of a family that's suddenly put into a crisis situation and doesn't have outside resources, doesn't have that connection, and that you're able to walk with that mom and help her in her journey, but then also, because you're a family-centered program,
yes,
that you help the kids process, because all of us know that if parents are in crisis, kids are being impacted by it. And whether they show it immediately or not, they are being impacted, and it will come up like a volcano at some inopportune time, and it may come up like rebellion or drugs or this or that, but it will show up. And so, like, you don't just serve and save that mom in that transition, but it really is about generations that you're serving. So how, because I want to get into the place of what can people do? Like, we hear, I mean, let's be honest. We hear, if you listen to news, even if you don't, I don't listen to news, but it's everywhere on like a YouTube feed or this or that, like just thousands and thousands of people coming over. Many families are separated.
Yes.
And it is heartbreaking.
Yes.
And I am so like action oriented as a person. When I went to see Sound of Freedom today, not today, but last week, I went to see Sound of Freedom. The moment I exited that theater, my first thought was, okay, I need to find out what I can do. Because it broke my heart, right? Well, I know families. I see them every week at Christ Cares for Kids. And I know I can take an action step by having them connect to you. But I want you to talk to people and what can people do? First of all, how do they contact you? What can they do?
Well, definitely to contact us, and either they're going through a rough situation, to a hard situation, well, definitely we talk to them, and we have a family program. It is more preventive than anything. But like I said, if they do have issues or situations that we cannot handle, that they need more specific or a special intervention, we have other resources that we can, we can send them, we can refer them to it. For those who wanted to be part of the solution that we need a lot of volunteers, definitely just to contact us, and we do have a leadership training. They have to go through the participant training and then the leadership training to be part of it. We have a variety of families that they have different situations, and I think the families are right now, like you said, there is a great need.
Yes.
And people are desperate to feel that somebody's walking with them. Now that we have solutions, God is the only one that have everything for everyone. Yet, just they need somebody to walk with them and to give them support, to give them hope. And some of these families, they don't have no other family. They don't know anybody. And it is so, because we are like 46 families, we have older people, younger people. All of a sudden, kids, they feel that they have cousins. They call them cousins.
Oh, yeah,
brothers.
Right. A built-in family.
Yeah, elders. I had some kids that they started calling them, can I call you grandpa? Can I call you grandma? Because they have been born here, but their biological grandparents, they're back in Mexico, and they cannot go back, or whatever reason they got separated. So people, they want to be part of, they want to belong to a family. They feel alone. So we're a big family, and we want to walk with them. We want to support them. We wanted to share with them, whatever they're going through. Because like I said, there is so many problems that they're facing. More and more, it's not just lack of communications that they're fighting between family members. Right now, they're dealing with drugs. That is just an epidemic right now.
Yes.
There is so many things that families, they come not even with the basic needs met. And that is heartbreaking. So I think that there is always room to be part of the solution.
Right. So let's say people are listening to this and they don't speak Spanish.
Yes.
How can they be part of the solution?
Well, remember that we have a children's group and a youth program. That usually our youth program, most of the youth, when we have the courses, or we have the programs, the workshops, we talk to them in English, because they, even though they have parents that they speak Spanish, they're going to school, they feel more comfortable with English. So there is a lot of things, logistics, so many things that we can all do, to be part of it.
Oh, okay, good. That's awesome, because I know I can picture people listening to this like, yeah, my Spanish is sort of like Trish's, so I'm not going to be particularly helpful.
It'll be a very good opportunity to learn Spanish.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yes. So, okay, that's good, because I think it's important for people to know that whether you speak Spanish or not shouldn't stop you from being part of the solution. Yes. And if you have ever worried about like our community, I want to tell you that there are like lights around this community. One of them happens over there at Christ Cares, where Creciendo Unidos is and Christ Cares Ministries is. There's some all like around in lots of places, but we especially those of us who are followers of Jesus, like God says, let your light so shine before others that they'll see your good works and it'll bring glory to God in heaven. And that's what this is about. This is about, how do I let my light shine? Right? Or maybe for you, maybe families. You're listening to this and you know a family that you can give them the contact info that's here on the podcast, here on YouTube, so that they can connect to Guille and to Creciendo Unidos, and they can begin that journey of finding where they can best be helped. Okay? But let your light so shine, right? Because don't you find, Guille, that so many people are not involved?
Yes.
And I'm not sure why, but I think some of it is because they don't know.
Yeah,
what they
I think
can
that
do.
people, they don't know, and there is some people that they're so immersed into their comfort zone.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they don't know. I mean, sometimes I wonder, it's like, do you know what is out there? Not that I'm I don't know. I just feel that people, they're not being involved in situations. A lot of times they get scared. They don't know how to help. It is hard for them to see so much hurt and pain, and they get probably scared. I don't know. But I think that right now we're at the point that we cannot turn around. Right. We cannot turn around that. And I'll be honest, for me, the experience, not just for me, for many volunteers, we receive more than what we give. We get inspired. We really feel that we are the ones that we're in this moment that we get more. Because when we saw families that they can turn their life around and not just turn their life around, but being part of the solution, because they become leaders, people that they have this resilience and they're so strong, even where they have gone through, they are still striving for becoming better.
Yes.
We get just the goosebumps.
Right.
And we said, me,
right.
that I have everything, that I have a stable life, how can I turn my back to the pain and the hurt and the problems? We need to be part of it. A lot of times when I driving and I see in the stops, so much young people in drugs, I think about my kids.
Right.
And I thank God, but I said, if it was one of my kids, I will give my life to do whatever it takes to take young people out of drugs. I will do anything to help a family, a mother that is crying for their kids, to give them hope. If it was me,
right.
what I will do. So a lot of times we have to picture,
ourselves, our family. Yes,
our family in that position where you will do. So
I would agree with that. And I would say, as we're getting ready to close here, but I would say as a challenge, you used a great phrase, and that was people getting out of their comfort zone. So wherever you are, I'm going to challenge you to get out of your comfort zone and be part of changing what is happening in this valley. Be part of being the light that God has called us to be.
Yes.
And maybe you will be the one who is standing watching a family take their steps to healing and being a productive citizen here. And so thank you so much for being on the journey with us, Guille. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And we love you here at Are You the One? And look forward to seeing you again next week. God bless you.
Thank you for listening to Are You the One today. We are grateful that you chose to get into the messiness of life with us. We pray that you have been encouraged and blessed and are ready to perhaps take that next step. Remember, you are not alone. Please visit our website, areyoutheoneshow.com, for resources and reinforcements to help you navigate your way to the heart of God and His great plans for your life. Join us again next week as together we dive into the deep end of life's issues on Are You the One?